Let me begin by extending our deep gratitude to His Majesty the King, the government, and the people of Spain, and to the leadership of the United Nations for the warm hospitality accorded to me and my delegation, as we are honored to stand here in this historic city of Seville alongside fellow nations, united by the common aspiration to reshape the global financial landscape in favor of inclusion, equity, and shared prosperity. This historic moment coincides with a day of deep national pride for Somalia. Across our country, citizens are commemorating our Independence Day, a celebration of liberation from colonial rule in 1960 and a reminder of our people's enduring spirit and resilience. The symbolism of this timing is powerful. Similar to the triumphant mood of 1960, the Somali people are very optimistic about the future as we have made significant gains in our state-building process. In the security arena, we have reformed our security architecture and waged a successful war against the deadly terrorist group Al-Shabaab, liberating hundreds of thousands of Somalis under their shackles. In the economic front, we have recently concluded a HIPC initiative through a prolonged process of the structural and staff monitoring program of the IMF and the World Bank. And we are now at a stage where we think about development. And we have only in a few months' time concluded our national development plan that we have renamed as the National Transformational Plan. In the governance front, we have tried to increase our domestic revenue so that we can finance our development, improve accountability and transparency mechanisms, and deepen our fiscal federalism. More importantly, in the governance front, which is a foundation for development before financing, is the issue of good governance. And after 56 years, we have jump-started a one-person, one-vote electoral process across the nation. Unfortunately, our efforts and our recovery has coincided with a very challenging times as the global landscape and the discussion on development financing has taken a different turn. Thus, we appreciate this opportune moment to gather here. Indeed, the decisions we take here today and the nature of the development financing modalities we discuss and embrace, the scale and the scope, accessibility of these financing instruments would be very detrimental to the development aspirations of our people. With under 4 years to go before 2030, the attainment of all the Sustainable Development Goals is somewhat questionable because the financing gap for the attainment of the Sustainable Development Goals has increased from 2.5 trillion in 2014 to 4 trillion in 2024. In the case of Africa, the continent needs about 1.3 trillion annually. In 2024, the number of people living in countries that spend more on interest payments than on crucial social services, such as education and health, has increased from 100 million to 3.4 billion, as per the report produced by the UN. I would like to highlight and accentuate, Mr. Chair, the unique and very particular circumstances of countries like Somalia and many in Africa, from the east to the Sahel. Countries that are not only recovering from and dealing with serious domestic historical issues, but also are at the receiving end of externalities from global market volatilities to disturbance in supply chains and climatic shocks. We, Somalia, would like to welcome and echo the voices raised here and embrace the civil compromise on climate financing. We hope that scalable, accessible, and affordable financing modalities would be available to fragile and conflict-prone countries like Somalia and others. We are also optimistic that the international financial architecture would be reformed and compatible with the needs of most of the citizens around the world. Let me conclude by saying that let this conference not become another footnote in a long series of unmet potential. Let Seville be remembered as the moment when rhetoric gave way to resolve, when the most fragile were finally heard, and when financing began to serve humanity's most urgent imperatives.